stay in the state of North Carolina. Let's go to North Carolina Tar Heels.
Please.
6-7 a year ago, they lost to James Madison. They lost at Duke, to Pitt, to Georgia Tech. Actually, they lost 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Then they lost Boston College, NC State, UConn in the bowl game, 3 in a row to end the season. So it was 2 spurts of losses for North Carolina. They made big waves. They made the big story of the offseason by going out and hiring Bill Belichick.
Okay.
I can't remember at this point if we did an emergency episode for it. I kind of think we did.
We may have done a stream. I don't know if it was a full episode. Yeah.
I don't remember at this point, but even without the added layer of Jordan Hudson.
Who?
You know who I mean, Jordan Hudson.
Who's Jordan? New slot receiver?
About this.
Oh, okay.
Even without Jordan Hudson and her connection to the coach, the program, and whatever oddities that has brought about, this would easily be a top 3 story headed back into the new season. This is... Ooh, yeah! Thank you, James.
Yep.
This is either going to be a spectacular success or a very messy breakup.
You don't think there's any chance it's just kind of boring?
I think he's kind of boring.
No. But like, you don't think that well, they went 8-4. They lost to the better teams. They beat some of the teams right around their area of the ACC. And,
I think that's likely this year. But I'm saying bigger picture.
Long term. Okay.
Bigger picture of the situation with him taking that job. He's either going to go on a tear and be great at it, or it's going to get real weird as he tries to leave. One or the other.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 burning questions for you with respect to North Carolina.
Okay.
And the first is...
Here, I'll answer them before you even ask. I don't know. Continue.
Well, I think that's the right answer. My first question is North Carolina actually wild card? Because...
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody seems to have a clue what this is going to look like. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about the product on the field or like the nuts and bolts behind the scenes on an administrative level. We did that episode a few months back with Michael Felder, which was almost unfair to him at the time because we were asking about specifics and what's it feel like. Nobody has them. Nobody has them. There are 51 guys who transferred out, 41 that came in. I hope the Verballerhood can forgive me if I don't go into my normal level of specificity here, but there is so much turnover and so much different. I have no idea, Dan, how the hell to handicap this thing.
Big picture, I think there's a lot working against him. Schedule-wise, it's a pretty incredible schedule.
Schedule's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
So my concern would be a little bit more abstract that and this is much more about Belichick specifically, not what this roster does or doesn't have, but because the roster, like many first-year coaches, is thrown together with transfers from a bunch of different schools. The challenge for any coach put in this position, let alone one who hasn't coached in college, basically, is can he bring everybody together? Can he keep everybody excited and energized and galvanized to go beat whoever they have on their schedule this week? How is he at navigating, a kid wants to transfer 3 weeks in? Is he going to lower himself to beg him to stay, right? In that instance, I doubt it. But what are his emotional abilities in terms of keeping this program together, in good times and bad? What is he like? Game planning, for schools week in and week out. He's game planning against much, much better football teams, but it was with grown men
with better
doing
talent,
their jobs.
With Tom freaking Brady, right?
Right, exactly. And so you can see how it can go wrong. It's hard for me to imagine that it's going to go right when the talent level isn't near the top of the conference. It appears in this moment.
Yeah.
So my answer is I'm very curious to see what happens. I'm very curious to see who does or doesn't develop under Bill Belichick and the many Belichicks involved in this program.
At least 3. There is a minimum of 3 Belichicks involved in this project.
And I don't know. It's more curiosity than strong feelings about this North Carolina team because we don't have a great concept of what kinds of systems. He was famous for fully changing the system and game plan every week in the NFL. You're not going to be able to do that in college with the limited amount of practice time and the limited malleability of random college linebackers. So, curious, have no concept. We'll need to see a few weeks first before I can feel anything about North Carolina football. But yes, it'd be unfair because of his reputation and his past to put them anywhere else but the middle. But we'll see how talent acquisition goes, and that won't affect things from this point moving forward this season. But man, it's going to be wild.
It is, and the second burning question actually is one that we may get something of an answer to. We don't know it now. We can make an assumption now, but 3/4 of the way through the season, I think we'll have a better sense for the raw power of the coaching genius of Bill Belichick. Arguably the greatest coach of all time at the NFL level.
Right.
Hasn't coached in college. I think it's fair to assume that he'll be able to put a defense together. I can talk about that in a second. But
I mean, you just need dudes, though. That's the problem.
But you need
and
dudes.
They lost their better dudes on defense to the portal.
You need dudes. If he is the coaching genius that he has been sold to us as, I think we should see some of that on display. It doesn't mean they're going 9-3. But we should see that even with a ton new on defense, they still find a way to put together a pretty good unit out there. Just my opinion.
Well, look, I mean, the easiest thing you can do is look at quarterbacks that they will face, especially in the ACC. So it's Clemson, Cal, so Cade Klubnik and I guess Devin Brown, Chandler Morris at Virginia, Steve Angeli at Syracuse, who knows at Stanford, who knows at Wake. I mean, Robbie Ashford, good one at Darian Mensah, probably pretty good or good in CJ Bailey. There's exactly one quarterback on this schedule. Who is it? TCU, Josh Hoover? Is that who's TCU?
And that's the first week of the season.
But it's at home. Like, the quarterbacks faced there's not a row of killers here, or even wounders.
And listen, they don't play Miami, they don't play SMU, they don't play Louisville, they don't play Georgia Tech, they don't play Florida State, they don't play Pitt.
Right.
So to your point, the schedule is great. I would be surprised if this team gave up if they gave up as many big plays as they did a year ago. I think we'll see improvement on defense. I think that's his calling card, especially through the air. Despite the fact that they actually had a pretty good pass rush last year, they gave up so many big plays. A lot new here, but it looks to me like the nucleus of the defense in terms of experience is definitely in the back seven. That would be nice. I think Belichick can work with that. So I'm optimistic on that side of the ball. I'm intrigued by offense because they're bringing in starters from other teams. And the line,
Nebraska,
the line's a really good example. If you factor in the transfers, it's actually a pretty experienced group. They just haven't played together at all.
Right.
Then you got a guy, Gio Lopez, the quarterback from South Alabama, who figures to be the starter. He's much more of a dual threat guy than we've seen recently at North Carolina. I think the offense has to take a bit of a step back, especially since Amari and Hampton went to the NFL. But I do think there's plenty of optimism there around Gio. A lot of people wanted Gio.
Sure.
So again, it's just, we're basically talking about something we have no business talking about because nobody does. It's all assumption. It's all a wink and a nod. And I think just this prevailing spirit of, or prevailing idea of Bill Belichick coaching something without actually knowing what he's coaching yet.
That quarterback job is still open, by the way, right?
It's still
Max
open.
Johnson and
it's still
Gio
open.
Lopez competing. Yeah.
I think it's going to be Gio, but Max is still there. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see. Listen, I wish I could be more specific. I wish I had a hotter take. I wish I had any take.
No, I hear you.
I don't know what to do with this.
I mean, Steve Belichick, that's the defensive coordinator, right?
Great hair.
Well, we can talk about that.
Long hair.
I want to say they stopped big plays, Washington, last year, and they did a pretty good job, and I don't have the list of quarterbacks in front of me. I feel like they did a pretty good job against the pass, excuse me. The pass in the past.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see, because that was another sort of rebuild very quickly at Washington last year with Jed Fish. But that schedule's great. They should be bowling this year.
Over under is 7.5, Dan.